is homeodynamic actioneers jolting. And as crazy as it sounds, that actually means something, even though
We
when
do
I
see you,
asked
and I can hear you as
Midjourney
well.
to render,
So we can hear you and see you. You're ready?
and you see the slide,
Yep.
yes, yes.
10 minutes.
And when I asked the Midjourney to render, it came up with FTW. I don't know what you mean. So let me tell you what I mean. And I only have 10 minutes, so please get in touch to continue the conversation about these topics by reaching out on whatever channel. And if you take a screenshot of this QR code, you can also download my slides. And I will be also happy to send you my book about AI. So when we were analyzing exponential technologies at Singularity University, um, well, 15 years ago now, we felt that Moore's law would continue forever. And in the 2019 AI report, Stanford University actually spoke about two eras in the compute usage in training AI systems. So this is basically the demand side, showing that things didn't go quite the way we expected. Because if they were, you would see a continuous line on this logarithmic chart. But I think even Stanford got it wrong, because these are not merely two different exponential curves, but these are what I call uh, a jolting technologies image. And a few years later, Jensen Huang, the founder of NVIDIA, um, also chimed in with some data from his very recent presentation, where if we look at this chart, which was on the screen just for a few seconds in more detail, we see that the expected increase due to Moore's law of an exponential improvement in NVIDIA performance would have only been about 1,000 times. And even if they went super exponential, it would have been only about 10 or 20,000 times. But instead, they have achieved over a million-fold increase. And the mathematical notation of these nested exponentials is not even very standard or meaningful. We have very, very few phenomena that are like this. But this is the world we have built. And we can now start asking ourselves on the hardware, data, and software infrastructure, what is going to happen as a consequence? For the past couple of billion years at least, biology has been evolving in an environment that has been changing at such a rate that the adaptations that biological evolution could bring allowed the identity of the individuals evolving to be maintained. And we call that homeostasis. But there are very clear upper bounds on this. If in a given year, a group of um, migrating animals on the savannah had to go during the dry season for 1,000 miles, and the next year 1,200 miles, well, they could make it. And if very slowly that increased, they could adapt to that increase. But if suddenly they were told, now you have to cross the Atlantic Ocean during your summer migration for the dry season, they couldn't. And they could never adapt to that kind of demand. there are clear upper bounds to what biological evolution allows. Now, the world of jolting changes is of a different nature. The change is accelerating, not only super exponentially, but even further. AIs will find themselves to be at home in this world of homodynamic adaptability. So the question we have for human beings is, what is going to be the path toward human dignity for the coming decades as we redefine what it means to live in these middle decades of the 21st century, the first century of the third millennium, after 13.8 billion years from the Big Bang, and before a new era in the life of the universe. What are going to be the ambitions of human purpose that we can and should realize? So I am building some of the answers, and I invite you to get together with me in trying to understand and decode what we can try to achieve together, necessarily with the AIs that are building the world, and that is the world that we will have to inhabit together with them. The actioneers that we all have to aspire to become need tools. And that actioneer.ai, we will be shortly starting to provide tools that we believe are going to serve human purpose and human dignity in the future. Thank you.
You have a bit more time, David. I'm also sorting it out with Dr. Grossman.
Well, I will be happy to turn off my screen share and answer questions, or just start talking about more in detail what I believe is going to be really an important challenge for all of us during the next years and decades. Our social contract is based on a very simple assumption. Your value to society is equal to the monetary measure of your economic output. And the current way that the means of production are allocated is such that with AIs and robots becoming available, and I'm talking to the coming generation of humanoid robots,
So you're a visitor?
we are
What's
all
your visitor name?
almost guaranteed to have this measure of economic output going to zero in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
And under the current social contract, that would be immediately followed by our value to society also going to zero, which of course
F0.
is
Okay.
unacceptable.
F0.
It's
Okay.
outrageous. It is worthy of revolution. And that is what historically happened when people felt that they were trampled upon,
Not quite
and they could actually realize that they were unjustly treated.
Yeah, so I'm going to make you
Today,
presenter now.
with nuclear weapons,
So you're now a
the
presenter.
blunt but convenient
You might have
instrument
to
of wars and
refresh the page.
revolutions
Could you try refreshing the page?
is not
Just to
available.
reset it as a presenter.
We must build alternatives alongside the system that we are replacing. This is what Buckminster Fuller has been proposing decades ago, and it is now our duty to realize and to complete. it is not going to be easy. When industrialization happened, the suffering that produced our current
Yes.
world has been immortalized by novels by Charles Dickens and other tales that illustrate how concretely
Okay.
people
Do
lived
is your name the same?
for decades a worse life than the one they had
Oh, I
before.
see. Very good. Okay.
Similarly,
Now
for a
change your.
thousand
Don't worry about the
years,
podium. This is good enough.
our
But
society
change your
built
mic to current zone, and then also
individuals
camera to current zone.
through their caloric intake that could grow to a smaller stature than the ones composing
Mic just
Okay.
went off.
That's on near
tribes
me.
of
The camera's on near me.
Okay,
who were
hang on. I'm
nomadic,
trying to change the camera.
collecting.
Camera is
Uh,
on current zone also. And I'm going to
so
turn
to
the camera
finish,
on.
as I believe the
Yeah.
next
Turn it on.
speaker
Okay,
is
they're both on.
here,
And they're in presenter mode.
Very good. Okay.
I
Um,
believe
I
that
was
we
I
must
was hoping to
steel
get an issue. I
ourselves
cannot start my
for the
camera,
transformation that is
but I think
coming
my voice will work.
and for
Okay.
the upheaval
And then
of
what do I do to get my
social
presentation out here?
structure.
Oh yeah, it's the share screen thing. So you
I don't,
gotta.
because I don't have, I just screen off or screen on. I don't see
So
a share screen for me.
there should be a caret that says current zone on the screen.
So, Greg, thank you for having me, and I'm glad to have been able to spend a few minutes with all of you. I invite you to continue the conversation. Uh, just happy to really open a strong dialogue. We need it
You got
in the
your
broadest
screen share figured
possible
out, Dr.
terms.
Grossman?
Happy continuation.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate you speaking. And thank you for all the time we shared at Singularity University. Okay. Up next is Dr. Grossman. I'm just working out technical issues here. My goodness. Okay. Can you hear me? Um, oh, okay. Can I be heard right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.